What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. I am the Poetic Healer, and in today's video, we're going to be reading the poem Floating in Space. So, you know the drill. I'm going to read the poem, and then we're going to analyze it and go line by line. All right, let's get to it. What is light without darkness? Everything is connected regardless. The Creator's duty is to observe its creation. Everything must be layered in perfect formation. The world is mine for the taking. People think they are happy, but they be faking. What is the point if you can't be yourself? At that state, you will be constantly be in hell. The only way is to create your true abilities. Creating isn't limitation, it's endless possibilities. And that's the only way to perceive life. Always be ready, because we're in a mental constant fight. And that is floating in space. So now it says, what is light without darkness? Everything is connected regardless. So what I mean by what is light without darkness, I'm just talking about the polar opposite of things, the dualistic nature of things. So we all need each other, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Up needs down. You wouldn't know what up is without having down. If there was no such thing as separation, then everything would be just one dimensional. You know what I mean? So what makes that third dimensional is you being observing your surroundings, but being able to see the dualistic aspects of things. That's what makes the whole aspect. Duality plus you is what creates the whole third dimension. So what is light without darkness is that showing how everything is connected and how everything is needed. So the polar opposite of things is needed. So certain situations in your life that is opposite to your liking is needed in your situation and your circumstances to help you elevate and to grow. So you need to embrace these type of things and really realize that these things are only actually making you stronger and making you wiser. If you can learn from your mistakes and learn from your situations from the past that actually were a detriment to your experience, then you can be able to elevate and actually be able to expand yourself. But it's all about having a strong will to live and having a strong will to succeed. Then it says, the creator's duty is to observe its creation. Everything must be layered in perfect formation. So the creator's duty is whatever you're creating, whether it's art, music, dancing, singing, inventions, technology, whatever it is, ways of running your business, ways of running your relationship or your family, excuse me, teaching, whatever it is that you're creating in your aspects and in your liking, you have to also make sure that you're able to observe its creation. You're able to observe the fruits of your labor, and you're able to observe it in the way that you want to observe it, because everyone has their own perspective. So it's all about how you perceive things, first and foremost, before you can be able to uh, see how else other people perceive things. And then it says, everything must be laid in perfect formation. So everything has to be in a routine, in a pattern that actually is a cycle that you can create that actually works for you. So once you find your routine and your cycle, that's what's going to actually help you elevate. You have to realize that we all have our own timing. So you have to see it like this. Physically, we are all here present together, right? We're all physically here. But internally, mentally, we're all in our own timeline. Some people's timeline, they might be dealing with relationships. So that might be their troubles and things that they have to work on. Some other people's timeline might be their business. You know, is it booming or not? That'll be the timeline that they're dealing with. Some people's timeline might be finding the next idea to elevate society. You know what I mean? So everyone's timeline is different. We're all physically here, but internally, we're in different timelines. Some people are very futuristic. Some people are still stuck in the past, and some people are still in the mundane current situation. But we're all going through this. You know what I mean? We've all been through those aspects, all three aspects. And that's what makes time very unique and very unique in each perception. You know what I mean? Not everyone's timing is the same. That's one thing I learned. You know, so if you try to enforce your timeline into someone else's timeline that isn't the same, you're going to automatically clash because you're trying to bring someone's timeline either way ahead or way behind in the past. So you have to learn how to be wise and know how to interact with people and be able to come at each level. Then it says, the world is mine for the taking. People think they're happy, but they're faking. So when I say the world is mine for the taking, I'm talking about your own personal world, your own personal mind, your imagination, your goals and ambition. That is your world. You know what I mean? We're all living in our own world because, like I said, we all might be physically in this room, but one person might be thinking about, you know, they need to elevate their money. Someone else might be thinking about they're stressed about making it into the football competition, whatever it is. So everyone's world is different, and that's what they're dealing with. So the way you think, the way you perceive existence, that is your world. Then it says, uh what's the point if you cannot be yourself? Oh, sorry, yeah, the world is mine for the taking. People think they're happy, but they're faking. So in life, in society, if you're into psychology, we learn these type of things about social norms and things like that. And I feel like, especially in the time that we're in right now, where the booming of social media and things like that, it's like sometimes people force themselves to perceive themselves in a certain way. You have to be in a perception where, whether it's social media or in real life, you're the same. So if you can post whatever you do post on social media, and you're also that in real life, then it doesn't matter because you're actually expressing your true self. So some people might post something on social media, but they're not truly that in real life. So that's the differentiate situation there. So you have to always be in the aspect of, I should be able to express myself whether physically or in the virtual world. No matter what, I'm still the same. And when you're still the same, your own charismatic self, then you can truly be yourself and know what you want in your life. And then it says, uh, what's the point if you cannot be yourself? At that state, you'll be in constant hell. So yeah, hell will be something that you're always in a routine. You know what I mean? You're always overthinking things. You're always having anxiety. You're always having doubts about yourself. That is hell, right? Because it's like you cannot progress. You cannot do anything that you want to do because you feel stuck or you feel left back. So it's very important that if you want to proceed into your desired ambition in life, you have to really be yourself. That's the first and foremost thing. And once you can be yourself, then everything else will make sense. And then it says, the only way to create your true abilities. Wait, oh yeah, the only way is to create your true abilities. Creating isn't limitation, it's endless possibilities. So the only way is to create. And when you're creating, it's actually discovering who you are as a person. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to sit alone and actually think, who are you as a person? What do you bring to yourself? Not what do you bring to others, but what can you bring to yourself that makes you feel content without needing other people? Excuse me. And once you have that, and once you know who you are as a person without other people telling you who you are, that's when you can know, okay, this is what I am, and this is what I stand for, and this is how I act. So you won't feel ashamed or feel embarrassed when people criticize you for who you are because you're confident in yourself. You already know who you are, and no one else can tell you who you are. So you have to always sit down and just actually sit down alone and just look within your life, regardless of your experience, regardless of the things that you've been through. Who are you as a person, and what do you actually bring to yourself? And then it says, and that's the only way to perceive life. Always be ready because we're in a constant mental fight. And that's right. Some people's always dealing with anxiety, depression, stress, doubt. These are things that are mental wars that you're dealing with. You're only fighting with yourself. And that's the first and foremost thing. Once you stop fighting with yourself, you stop fighting with the outside world. You know what I mean? Once you find that inner wholeness in yourself, then you'll find the inner wholeness in the outside world. So it's very important that you realize that we're all in our own different timeline. And it's very important not to impose your timeline onto others. It's very important for you to just be in your timeline. And if you can find people like minded, that's where you get the thing where you call twin flames and soulmates, right? Because you're in your own timeline. So you naturally have that frequency and vibration to come into a reality where you're actually in the same frequency and vibration with others who are in the same timeline. So you guys will merge timeline together and be in that world and experience that situation together. And for better or for worse, whatever it is, it's still going to give you that wisdom and knowledge to be able to proceed on to your next destination. So yeah, guys, that is floating in space. floating in your experience, floating in your mentality, your creativity, and flooding in your wisdom. The first and foremost is very important that you flood in your wisdom, because wisdom is very important. And wisdom is not gained from necessarily reading books and things like that. Wisdom is gained from your own personal experience. That's when you gain the best wisdom, because your own personal experience is going to be different from others. And the way you navigate your life is going to be different from others. But as long as you know what is right for you, then you know where to be and how to move. So yeah, guys, that's the poem for today's video. Hope you guys gained something new from those poems. And until next time, guys, I'll see you soon.